Hey gang, Spada coming at you, and today we are taking a look at the Magnaboss set from Transformers Beast Wars. Now, as I said, the Magnaboss set comes with 3 different figures that all combine. First off, we have Ironhide the Elephant, Silverbolt the Eagle, and Prowl the Lion. And as you can see, they are reasonable facsimiles thereof of their animal counterparts. I think my only complaint has to be with Silverbolt in the fact that he's completely hollow underneath. But otherwise, the textures on the figures are very, very nice. You've got the textured feathers, you've got the textured hide here on the elephant, and you've got the nice textured mane and fur textures here on Prowl. This is one of the sets that was slightly repainted and re-released in the Japanese Beast Wars, the second series, but it was also released as Magnaboss. This guy was called Leo Jr. I don't remember what these guys were called. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figures, each of them together. And of course, by looking at each of them together, I meant looking at each of them separately. So we're going to go ahead and transform Prowl from his lion mode to his robot mode. First, we're going to come back and remove the back part of the lion mode completely. This will actually form his handheld weapon. First, what we're going to do is take the legs and fold them down, fold out the back hind legs out, and then fold the feet out. Take the legs and rotate them 180 degrees to put the robot feet in front. Then we'll come up here and actually take the back part of the mane, which can actually bend forward like that as an attack mode. Fold that down, come inside and actually fold forward the mane. And this will allow you to fold the lion claws or lion paws out of the way, and then fold the paws up to form robot fists. And then the lion mane will rotate around completely like this. We'll just come in here, open up the middle of the beast, rotate the big lion head out of the way, and fold out the little mini robot head. And then we'll come around and collapse the inner parts back together, and fold the part that we originally folded out that. And I'm doing a terrible job of explaining how all of this works. I realize that. And here we have Prowl in robot mode. In a very poorly, gotta rotate that around. In a very poorly described transformation, we now have Prowl in robot mode. You could do this a couple of different ways. You could play with his back mane a couple of different ways. I like to just fold it up out of the way like this. The one problem I've had ever since I got this guy out of the box is he is top heavy. The hip joints are loose. That's ever since I got this thing back in like 1995 or 96 when this thing came out. I've had that issue. Holding his little tail club thing, he looks pretty good. I think my only complaint is, I'll be down in a minute! I think my only problem with this figure is the paint scheme, and there's a lot of yellow here. A little bit of silver, a little bit of brown, and his face is not very well detailed. But, you know what? For a guy that's going to combine with 2 other creatures in Beast Wars, it's not that bad. Next, we're taking a look at Silverbolt. And I have to say, out of all of the animal modes that is, this is probably the weakest. Specifically because if you look at him from top or right in front, he's not that bad. Turn him upside down though, and he looks terrible. It just, the way the legs don't work really well, and this whole hollow center, there's a reason for it, but I just don't think it looks good. So, transformation is actually very, very simple. First thing we're going to do is come here. Oh, and before I do the transformation, I have to show you the attack mode. The attack mode is fold the wings forward, fold those wings out of the way, and there you go. There's his attack mode. Remind you of a certain thing from Power Rangers, by any chance? Okay, so let's go ahead and get him back to the way he was. So I like to pull the wings out completely like this. Then what you do is you come, lift the eagle tail up, lift the eagle head all the way up, and that'll raise the entire back of the eagle. You come in here and you literally slide and fold the entire upper torso of the robot mode up. Pull the arms down, fold the eagle back so that the eagle head is sitting on top of the robot head, and then just fold the eagle's legs around so that you have little eagle, the edges of the eagle talons. So there you go. Now, I have to say this is the worst robot mode because it's all brown. It's all brown and white, and it doesn't look that good. I mean, the face has no detailing on it whatsoever. Its weapons are stored right here under the bottom part of the wings. There are these swords. And they work okay. I mean, as swords, they actually look really, really cool. But posing this guy is a real challenge because of the weight of these wings. There are missile firing mechanisms here in the wings, and that makes posing this guy really hard. Thankfully, the eagle tail is just long enough so that you can sort of rest the weight of the wings and the backpack and the back of the eagle on the eagle's tail. Like I said, I think this is the worst of the robot modes simply because it just looks like an eagle with a robot sticking off of it. There's nothing really great about it. Finally, we're going to take a look at Ironhide. Now, Ironhide is actually a very nice elephant, even if the eyes are green for some reason. His attack mode is pretty much that. I know there's something a little bit extra you do, but that's what I like to do. His transformation is actually pretty darn complex. So what we're going to do is actually grab... Well, first, we're going to take these bits off the back of his ears and put them off to the side. We're going to grab the ears and actually split open the elephant head. By doing that, we'll be able to then split open other parts. First, we're going to come back here and open up his rump. Just pop those open like that, and then open up the sides like that. And pretty much the whole figure just kind of stands up. So we're just going to rotate things around until we get to that point. So we'll stand him up and then rotate these back panels back as far as we can so we can fold down what were these side panels. And oh look, a rub sign. Yep, he is a Maximal. Then we'll take the front legs and split them apart so we can fold them out and around. We'll take what is the tusks, this whole top section, and fold them down so you have these tusks pointing off the front of Ironhide. And then these bits, you can do one of two things. One, you can actually kind of fold these out to form pseudo hands, or, and this is the way the actual instructions show you, these plug in to the bottoms here to form clubs. He doesn't really have hands, but in the show he has hands. Now, you might be thinking this is not a very good robot mode, and it isn't, but it's better than Silverbolt's. This is actually a robot mode. Unfortunately, he is horribly top-heavy, and there's not much you could do about it except lean him forward. Or just get his feet such that you can lean him forward. And I'm not a fan of this robot mode, but there have been worse. I mean, Retrax is a really bad robot mode, but it's not bad, and the face actually has a molded scowl on it, which is pretty cool. Other than the fact that he has two giant halves of an elephant's head hanging off of his shoulders, he's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. So let's go ahead and get these guys merged up. Start with Prowl. And this is actually pretty complex. Cool, but complex. So we're going to return him slightly to beast mode. I'm going to take this and rotate the robot head around, and then take the lion head, turn that around. It's really hard for me to describe what I'm doing here because it's so complex. It's just a little bit too hard to describe. You'll just have to watch the video to see. And then take the legs and fold them up such that the feet sit in these little holes. So what we've effectively done is taken Prowl and turned him into a head and torso bit. So we'll put him off to the side and take Silverbolt and return him to eagle form. Take the legs like that and point them straight down. Actually, sorry, I had him completely upside down. So what we'll do is we'll take the Lio torso and actually connect it into the tops. These pegs and clasps will plug in right here. Do the same thing on the other side. And a lot of times it doesn't go together all that well. You just kind of have to force it. And then you just kind of keep the claws like that and fold it up such that the eagle head sits on top of the robot head like that. So there, that part's done. I'll put that off to the side. Grab Ironhide here. Now this is where it gets a little crazy. We're actually going to take Ironhide, turn him completely upside down, fold these parts, or what were the robot arms, will point straight down and will fold out into the robot legs, or into Magnaboss's legs. The biggest challenge is getting the elephant heads situated in such a way that they're out of the way. We'll come up here, fold those panels down, pop these out of place, come around here and actually connect. We've got a couple of pegs in here that peg into place. You just gotta finagle everything. And I hate to say the term finagle, but that's really what you are doing. And fold out Magnaboss's fists. Fold out his cannons. Fire off a missile. Last but not least, fold this up and peg it into place, which doesn't always work. And here we have the completed Magnaboss. Now, I will be the first to admit it is not the greatest thing ever, but back in the early 90s, early to mid 90s, this thing was awesome. I mean, this guy and Triporticus were awesome. Just the amount of finagling, though, you got to do to get him in this mode is a little bit annoying. And let's face it, Ironhide makes up, I'd say, what, 75% of this guy? But he's pretty cool. And I actually really dig him. Because you didn't have any combining beasties. However, if you turn him around backwards, he is not very good looking. I mean, you've got Ironhide's head here and the feet. So if you're thinking about picking this guy up, I would consider never looking at his backside. should you buy this? If you do see it at a yard sale for like 20 bucks, oh yeah, pick it up. Definitely worth that. Anything more, I would stay far away, simply because he's very top heavy, and all of the individual modes aren't that good, but combined, I rather enjoy him, and I would say he's definitely worth at least 20 bucks.